everyone, and welcome to our overview of the SMARTS at Home program. In this video, we're going to give you a bird's eye view of the big picture development of this program. We'll look at the unit structure, the lesson structure, and some ways you can get started. And I encourage you to explore further. We'll give you some tips and tricks on how you can learn more about this program and check it out if it's the right resource for the student you have in mind. My name is Michael Grushler. I am the director of the SMARTS program.
Hi, I'm Mindy Sherry. I'm part of the development team for Smarts at Home and a consultant.
And we are so excited to share this program with you. So let's get started. So Smarts at Home is a product of Research Institute for Learning Development. It is part of the Smarts kind of family of executive function resources. We are a nonprofit in Lexington, Massachusetts, and executive function is really the heart of our mission, is literally in our mission statement. So we have been doing EF work with schools and educators across the country and around the world for years. You can see that our SMARTS executive function in-school curriculum has been used by 289,000 plus students, more than 2,000 schools, more than 7,500 educators. So we are doing a lot of powerful EF work to, transform learning, to empower students to learn how to learn, develop the strategies they need. But from the very beginning of the launch of our SMARTS curriculum, we've been asking ourselves this question: what about families? Parents and educators and relatives, those who support students outside of the classroom, are really often at the forefront of the EF challenges that students have, right? And shockingly, there's a real lack of EF resources that they can systematically apply. More than beyond a workbook or a video, we want families to have access to structured, research-based, and fun resources that they can use to support their kids' EF needs. And that's what Smarts at Home is all about. So Smarts at Home is an organized collection of activities developed using kind of the research base of the SMART school-based curriculum and designed to help support a child's EF development outside of school. So when a family works through our program, we are boosting that self-understanding and self-awareness. We are working to teach kids what it means to be strategic in their approach to problem solving, and using that foundation to set goals that they can set for academics or beyond, to organize their materials, and building a foundation for time management and self-regulation. Those are kind of the outcomes that we work for when we go through this program. So in a second, Mindy will walk you through a unit, but let's, bird's eye view. So right now, Smarts at Home consists of 6 units, and these units kind of march you through what it looks like to develop that strategic, independent, and self-aware student that you know your child can be. So Unit 1, how do I think about my thinking, building that foundation of self-understanding. Unit 2, how can I use strategies to help me, working on what a strategy is and what it is not. Unit 3, how do I think flexibly, both thinking flexibly when you're stuck as well as understanding others. Unit 4, I can do my goals, that's that goal setting. Unit 5, how do I organize my materials? A very fun lesson and very important for many of our kids. And Unit 6, how do I understand time? Addressing that foundation of what it means to manage your time and stay on top of tasks. All right, so with that kind of bird's eye view in mind, I'm going to hand it over to Mindy, who's going to walk us through what is included in a unit and a lesson.
Okay, so let's look at a particular unit and what it includes. All units include everything you're going to need to do this program. So all the materials and resources that you're going to need to lead your child through strategy instruction. Okay, so we're going to look at each of these pieces in turn, getting started. That section has a summary of the goals and objectives for the unit, so you will know what you're going to be getting into, the concepts that you're going to be looking at, the strategies that you're going to be teaching. A background section where you can learn as much as you want about a particular EF concept related to this unit. You can keep clicking if you want to learn more and more and more, depending on how much time and energy you have for learning about these concepts. A list of materials for each unit so you can get everything together that you'll need for the entire unit. Usually these are things found easily around your household, and it's not anything too dramatic. And optional handouts for the entire unit. If you are one of those adults who like to prepare for the entire thing beforehand, you can print all of the handouts for that unit ahead of time. Now, keep in mind that they are optional. You do not need to use a single handout in this entire program. and an overview of lessons in the unit. So you can see at a glance each of the 4 lessons that you will be teaching in this unit, and you can get a sense of the big picture. The student overview video, there is one for each unit, and this is a cute video. It's pretty short, and it has those cute characters in it, and the voice is a student. And this gives you an overview of what the entire unit is about, kind of why you are learning this particular concept and strategy. Each unit contains 4 lessons, and they are each designed to be about 30 minutes. So depending on your child, you may take longer or shorter. You may go more quickly or more slowly through the lesson. However, they are designed to be about 30 minutes. The lesson sequence is based on best practices. So we know what good teaching entails in terms of kind of activating that prior knowledge, introducing the strategy and the concept, modeling that for your child, having the child, play with it with support, and then eventually get to that independence. So we want you to follow kind of that structure as you go through the program. And don't forget the extensions. It's a really important piece to be able to take what was learned in the lesson and be able to apply it and practice those strategies in real life tasks. SMARTS at Home follows that gradual release model that I sort of just explained. And you can see as you go around those 1, 2, 3, 4 lessons and the extensions and reflection and bridge letter, which we'll talk about. So we want to really have that reflection at the end to think back on what we've learned and eventually learn to use that with our strategies. We recommend taking at least 1 month per unit, so you have the time to learn the strategies and concepts and then apply them and practice them in school, out of school, after school, in those sports and in all of the different areas, chores around the house. Younger children may take a little bit longer. So you may need to have a little bit more practice time with strategies or concepts. So you may have to take a little bit longer. Unit resources. At the end of every unit, there are a bunch of resources for you to continue the learning and also celebrate what has been learned. Unit extensions will be a collection of all the extensions from each of the lessons within that unit. So you can have one document where you can go back and try these different activities with your child. A bridge letter is available for each unit, and this can be used to share information about what you've been learning with your child and with someone who would maybe be able to better support your child in different areas. So for example, if your child is in school, you may use a bridge letter to share with your child's teacher what you've been learning. If your child's in sports with a coach, maybe a club leader, could be other family members, anybody who might be able to also support that development of strategies and the knowledge of executive function concepts. A child strategy use reflection is available for your child to start using strategies in a strategic way by planning ahead, looking at a task that's going to be done, and planning ahead and saying, I could use these particular strategies. I'm going to choose this one for this reason. And then also after the task, looking back and saying, this worked, or no, it didn't work quite well this time, or with this particular task. Maybe I need to change strategies. Maybe I need to modify that strategy a little bit or use it in just different ways. Unit certificate is a way to celebrate the learning that has occurred in the unit. It is a document where you can include your child's name. It has the characters from the unit, and it can be printed if you'd like or stored digitally. And then there's an adult unit reflection. As the teacher of the program, you may want to reflect on how it went for that unit. You can think about what was learned, maybe ways that were most effective. Structure of a lesson. Okay, so now we're going to go deeper. We're going to go into each lesson. Lessons will guide you through a number of activities to get the learning to occur. There are also throughout the program a lot of resources for both you and your student. Okay, so we'll look at each of these in turn. Instruction and wrap-up videos. Each lesson begins with an instructional video that shares information about that lesson, instructions for how to maybe use a strategy or why we want to use a strategy, and they're engaging, these lesson videos. Once you get into the lesson, there'll be activities, and then at the end, there will be another video that will summarize what the learning has been and kind of look at how that learning is important in your child's life. These videos, like the unit overview videos, can be reviewed as many times as needed. Semi-scripted directions. So there are these quote marks throughout the program that you can find, and these will show you kind of where the text is really important, where you want to either read it or definitely go through the text with your child. And there are also options in some places for longer text for you to just click a button and an audio reader will read it to your child. So there are different options throughout the program where you have specific directions and you can share them with your child in a number of different ways. Each lesson has an adult activity and a child activity. So you and your child are actually going through this program together. You're going to discuss the roles that EF plays in both of your lives. And most lessons begin with you serving as kind of the role model for your child. So we'll introduce a strategy or a concept and we'll apply it to your life and you'll think about it and your child will help you through that process, learning along the way. Then it's your child's turn. Your child will do interactive activities and have a choice of how to share information that has been learned by, speaking, acting, drawing, writing, a number of different ways. Here's an example of an adult activity, and you can see that the tasks involved are tasks like shopping at the grocery store, planning a meal, packing a suitcase, and we're going to think about through this activity what strategies we use as adults to do these different tasks. And we'll talk with our child about those strategies, and sometimes how they work or they don't work will affect whether we consider them a strategy or an anti-strategy. And then their child will have similar type activities, interactive activities, to think about things in their lives as well. At the end of each unit, there's also an activity where the child reflects on the learning from that unit. Here's an example of thinking about what a strategy is. How can I show you as the child what I've learned from this unit? And I have choices. So I prefer to do one of these things and we choose that way, and that's how the child can show learning. There are often places where a handout is available to do either along with or instead of a digital activity. The digital activities are generally very interactive and engaging. You might be following a story and answering questions to, make the character do different things. You may be doing different activities like, a maze or connect the dots, or connecting certain concepts, things like that in as fun and engaging as possible ways. And so you have this option to do the handout if you want to, for example, if you had more than one child or you wanted to create maybe a paper portfolio at the end. Extensions. Each lesson comes with extension ideas, and these are quick and easy ways for your child to continue practicing strategies, putting strategies into practice in the tasks in their lives. When your child is ready, some of the extensions are also marked as challenge extensions, so you can take that learning even further. What happens if your child gets stuck? Some of these activities, some of these questions related to executive function can be a little bit tricky. So your child may get stuck, and that's perfectly normal. So there are tips throughout the program that will help if your child gets stuck. So they may have ideas for different ways to think about things, may have ideas for what we can do instead. And there are a lot of leveled activities where you can choose particular activities over others, and you can make those calls, questions that are leveled. So you can say, I'm going to ask these questions, but maybe not this level. And so you can make those decisions to help avoid your child getting stuck. And when your child does get stuck, there are supports as well. What if you get stuck? Adults never get stuck. Some of these tips are also ideas for you for how to do things in a particular way that might be different, that might benefit your child, ways for you to think about things so that you can help your child through discussion or prompting to think about a question in a certain way or to remember something that was learned previously. And there are a lot of other supports related to this program. For example, you can look at the SMARTS parents blogs to think about ways to further support your child with executive function. There's a frequently asked questions board where you can look at what questions people typically ask and some answers there. You have a message board where you can connect with other SMARTS at home users, asking questions, answering questions, offering ideas for things that worked for you, sharing ideas like that. And Facebook group. We have a Facebook group devoted to executive function at home. And so we have a network community of families who are interested in that topic. So lots of support for you.
Excellent. Thank you, Mindy. I hope you enjoyed that tour of kind of what is a unit, what's a lesson. I mean, you're getting a sense that this is very unique, engaging, and powerful tool when it comes to supporting the executive function needs of your child or of any student that you have in mind. So I'm going to end with a few tips for how you can explore more as you embark on your EF journey and feel out if this is the right resource for you. We hope you'll love it. We hope you'll check it out. If you're interested in signing up for the program, this is the website. If you visit our smarts-ef.org, that's also where you can find a link to download a free lesson. Like I said, to sign up, to explore those blogs Mindy mentioned. There's a lot of great stuff for educators and parents on the Smart site. So check that out, and we would love to have you if you do join. But, regardless, our mission is executive function. We are here to get the word out about executive function. A lot of great, vibrant conversations around EF are happening on Facebook. We've got our EF at home group, which is growing, by the day. So if you want to join the conversation, you want to share a question, comment, resource, etc., with parents and educators all around the world, check it out there. Executive function at home, the SMARTS approach. You can also take your phone and snap a quick picture here and open up the QR code, which will bring you to the group as well. So we'll see you on Facebook. And, we have a presence across, many platforms on the internet. Facebook, like we said, we're still on Twitter, or X as it's called. And YouTube has a lot of wonderful resources. Those student overview videos that Mindy mentioned, which are pretty cute and very informative, are up there, as well as recordings of previous webinars and things like that. So check that out on YouTube for lots of great EF content. And, remember, we are passionate about executive function. We are in this business to make sure that kids and adults have the EF strategies they need to succeed. So please don't be a stranger. If you have a specific question that, you don't think was addressed by this video or any of our resources, reach out. We would love to hear from you. Same thing, if you know another organization or individual who could benefit from learning more about EF, please share, our sites, our programs, our resources with them and contact us. We love talking executive function and we would love to hear from you. So thank you so much for learning more about the Smarts at Home program. We hope you'll join us in this powerful work of bringing EF out of the classroom into the home and beyond the school walls. And we will see you when we see you. So thank you so much for watching.